Hello all, a very good morning. This is Anand Kumar. I am currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Information Technology in SNS College of Technology. Welcome to my video lecture series number 2 in this May month. In the last class, we have seen about the basic concepts of files and what are the files are about and what are the blocks and what are those aspects which is associated with files. And in the last class, we have just started our introduction about file attributes. So as I told you in the previous class itself, that means like a file has a number of attributes indicating some of the information through the file or of the file. The most common attributes are such as it implies its name, type, where what type it is, and where is the location, and what size it does have it, and moreover, it is mainly used for user identification. So, coming to the detailed description of what are those attributes. So, what is a name? Let us see. Just a name is an only information that is kept in human readable form. Yes, of course, yes, it is. Why? Because the name can be identified by both the user and, of course, the humans. And this is the name given to identify the file. Why? Because if you want to identify a file out of 10 files, and if you want to identify just one file, we have to just sort it through using the name attribute. And next is the type. So coming to the type of the file, there are many different kinds of systems and there are many different kinds of file systems, and of course there are many different types of file extensions. So considering the type, it's the type is the type of the file and it is needed for the systems to support different types. For example, we can consider text files that consist of text files, text contents alone, and considering the picture file, there are something called as jpg and pngs and etc. And next is the main thing, that is what we called as location. So location points to the location of the file on the disk. Yes, of course. Why it is this location is the main attribute of the file. Why? Because if we don't know what or where the file is about or where the file is located, we can't retrieve it, and of course we can just store it, but it will be like a blind storage. So, and the next is size, and the size refers to the current size of the file. And of course we know about something called as production bits. So what's a production bit? So production bit is a control who can who do reading, writing and executing. And some of the user can read, some of the user can write, and some of the users can execute via this production bit. So considering the privilege aspects of the banking system, some of the users can just deposit the money, some of the users can um, revoke it, and some of the users can debit it from their account, and likewise. So protection bit is a thing which allows the user to, what you call, like, it can allow the user to write at a point of time and to read at a point of time, and to read and write on both of the aspect and some in some point of time. So next is time, date, and user identification. And regarding this time, date, and user identification, this is the information kept for the last creation, last modification, and last use. This last means the recent contribution of the user to the file. So the next is the data useful for production, security, and of course the usage management. So likewise, as I told you, there is something called as directory structure, and the file attributes are most probably stored in the directory structure. And of course, the directory structure is maintained in the disk. So coming to the next main topic, that is what you call as file operations. So we have files and we have directories and we have everything. So the operating system provides a number of system calls. That means for what means to create, write, read, reposition, delete, and of course to truncate files. So we are now going to see in detail about the file operations. The file operations means it's a general sense on operations that will be carried out on a file. So what are those major operations that will be acted on a file means? To start with, we can create, we can operate, or we can write, or we can read through it, and we can truncate, and of course we can delete. So coming to the detailed explanation of the creation of the file, or just create system call, this operation, I mean the create operation, creates a new file. And to be specific, there has to be some space left for the file creation in the disk in the prior section. And next is through write. This operation is used to write contents into a file. The system searches the directory and finds the location of the file. Using this location, contents can be written into the file. The system keeps a write pointer at the location where the write happens at a specific point of time. So next is what we call as read operation. So the read operation is used to read the contents into a file or off a file. It means just we are going to read a book, right? So likewise, the this system call is used for reading specific point of file systems and to store in it in the next block of the user space that is to be read in a form. So coming to the main operation of the file, that is what we call it as file seek. This is the major day-to-day operation what we are going to see or what we are going to use. This operation is used to reposition the file pointer within the file. So the explanation for this line is the file pointer is pointed towards the file which is being currently in use, and whenever a read or write operation is done, the read or write is done on the location which is pointed by the file pointer. It means it will be moving to the current file which is being operated. So to seek through this file operation, the position or the current file position can be modified using this seek operation. It can be varying from the left to right or right to left, or from top to bottom, or bottom to top, or like ascending to descending, or descending to an ascending, or any other file pointer operations. So the next is we know about the terms called as truncation and of course the deleting. So deleting means like this is a system call, and the file is searched in directory, and the file will be retrieved from the directory, and the allocated file space for that file will be deleted or erased. The directory entry created for the file is also erased. This is what we call as a delete system call or delete operation. And next is the truncate operation. This truncate operation releases all the contents of the file, not just the space of the file. The file is not deleted. Of course, the file shouldn't be deleted during the truncate operations. Why? Because we are just erasing the content of the file. So the file length is reset to 0 so that it can be overwritten. So the space allocated to the file in the disk will be released. So next is appending and rename. And just appending means it's just a simple operation of adding a new information to the existing file or to the end of the file. Likewise, the current file position is moved to the end of the file, and of course the rename function stands for the name provided through a system call will be changed at a specific point of time, and for this a directory entry should be modified. And there are something called as copying and pasting. Copy means the file operation, or sorry, the operation is used to make a copy of the existing file, and the name of the old file will be replaced, or with it will be created with a new file with a new copy. So and in the file systems, in the next class we'll just see with something called as file types, names, extension, etc. And in the next class we'll just see what is what, it is like executable object files, etc. So thank you for listening. Thank you.